Hi Jayant, how are you doing?
Good, sir.
Great, wonderful.
So,
Let's start. And I just have to see which page we were on. Hmm, Page 57, becoming a create. Okay. Jayant, we are on page 57, becoming your own creator. Page 57 of the PDF of the book, not the PDF of the book. Page 58 of the PDF. Uh,
one,
Reading, becoming your own creator.
1 minute. I'm opening the PDF. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Let's start. Rescripting, becoming your own creator. As we previously observed, proactivity is based on the unique, sorry, proactivity is based on the unique human endowment of self-awareness. The two additional unique human endowments that enable us to expand our proactivity and to exercise personal leadership in our lives are imagination and conscious. So he's saying there are three things which make us successful and make us create very nice things in life is proactivity, means actually going and doing things, and second is imagination, and third is conscious, means being alert and aware of ourselves and our surroundings. Through imagination, we can visualize the uncreated worlds of potential that lie within us. Through conscious, we can come in contact with universal laws or principles, with our own singular talents and avenues of contribution, and with the personal guidelines within which we can most effectively develop them. Combined with self awareness, these two endowments empower us to write our own script. Write our own script, you know, create your own destiny. Many times we are always complaining, this is not proper, that is not proper. He said, with these three things, just three things: imagination, conscience, and self awareness, you can create your own destiny. Because we already live with many scripts that have been handed to us, the process of writing our own script is actually more of a process of rescripting or paradigm shifting, of changing some of the basic paradigms that we already have. So he's saying ki, yeah, in our life already something or the other is already happening. Whether we do something or we don't something, something or the other will keep happening in our life. But if we want to give direction to our life, if we would like to decide that no, I want good things to happen in my life and I don't want negative things to keep happening in my life. I want to feel happier in my life than I am currently feeling. I want to feel healthier in my life. I want to be more successful. I want to contribute more to society than I am currently doing. These are the paradigm shifting things where what we are currently, that we are able to change or rescript, as he is saying, and become something else. I think one of the most inspiring accounts of the rescripting process comes from the autobiography of Anwar Sadat, the past president of Egypt. Sadat had been reared means brought up, nurtured, and deeply scripted in a hatred for Israel. He would make this statement on national television: I will never shake the hand of an Israeli as long as they occupy 1 inch of Arab soil. Never, never, never. And huge crowds all around the country would chant, Never, never, never. He marshaled the energy and unified the will of the whole country in that script. The script was very independent and nationalistic, and it aroused deep emotions in the people. But it was also very foolish, and Sadat knew it. It ignored the perilous, highly interdependent reality of the situation. So he rescripted himself. It was a process he had learnt when he was a young man, imprisoned in cell 54, a solitary cell in Cairo Central Prison, as a result of his involvement in a conspiracy plot against King Farouk. He learned to withdraw from his own mind and to look at it to see if the scripts were appropriate and wise. He learned how to vacate his own mind and, through a deep personal process of meditation, to work with his own scriptures, his own form of prayer, and rescript himself. He records that he was almost loath to leave his prison cell because it was there that he realized that real success is success with self. It's not in having things, but in having mastery, having victory over self. For a period of time during Nasir's administration, Sadat was relegated to a position of relative insignificance. Everyone felt that his spirit was broken, but it wasn't. They were projecting their own home movies onto him. They didn't understand him. He was biding his time. He was patient. And when that time came, when he became president of Egypt and confronted the political realities, he rescripted himself towards Israel. He visited the Nest in Jerusalem and opened up one of the most precedent breaking peace movements in the history of the world, a bold initiative that eventually brought about the Camp David Accord. Sadat was able to use his self awareness, his imagination, and his conscience to exercise personal leadership, to change an essential paradigm, to change the way he saw the situation. He worked in the center of his circle of influence. And from that rescripting, that change in paradigm, flowed changes in behavior and attitude that affected millions of lives in the wider circle of concern. In developing our own self awareness, many of us discover ineffective scripts, deeply embedded habits that are totally unworthy of us, totally incongruent with the things. Incongruent means not equal, congruency means equality, incongruency means non equal. Totally incongruent, not equal, not in touch, not in sync with the things we really value in life. Habit 2 says we don't have to live with those scripts. We are responsible to use our imagination and creativity to write new ones that are more effective, more congruent with our deepest values, and with the correct principles that give our values meaning. Suppose, for example, that I am highly overreactive to my children. Suppose that whenever they begin to do something I feel is inappropriate, I sense an immediate tensing in the pit of my stomach, feel defensive walls go up, I prepare for battle. My focus is not on the long term growth and understanding, but on the short term behavior. I'm trying to win the battle, not the war. I pull out my ammunition, my superior size, my position of authority, and I yell or intimidate or I threaten to punish, and I win. I stand there victorious in the middle of the debris of a shattered relationship while my children are outwardly submissive and inwardly rebellious, suppressing feelings that will come out later in uglier ways. Now, if I were to sit at that funeral we visualized earlier, and one of my children was about to speak, I would want his life to represent the victory of teaching, training, and disciplining with love over a period of years rather than the battle of scars of quick fix skirmishes. I would want his heart and mind to be filled with the pleasant memories of deep, meaningful times together. I would want him to remember me as a loving father who shared the fun and the pain of growing up. I would want him to remember the times he came to me with his problems and concerns. I would want to have listened and loved and helped. I would want him to know I wasn't perfect, but that I had tried with everything I had. And that perhaps more than anybody in the world, I loved him. The reason I would want those things is because deep down, I value my children. I love them. I want to help them. I value my role as their father. But I don't always see those values. I get caught up in the thick of thin things. What matters most gets buried under layers of pressing problems, immediate concerns, and outward behaviors. I become reactive, and the way I interact with my children every day often bears little resemblance to the way I deeply feel about them. Okay, let's take a minute. Hi, Jainath, how are you?
Good, sir.
What did you understand so far?
Sir, rescripting is the process of rewriting internal scripts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Humans have unique abilities.
Mhm. What are the scripts? What do they mean by the scripts there? What are they trying to rescript?
Sir, I lost you. Can you say it again?
I'm saying what are the scripts? What are they trying to rescript here? They're trying to rescript our very identities. You know, in simple words, I am a fat. I've always been little fat and plump ever since a child. So in my head, I have a thing that I can never be fit.
Hmm.
He is giving us a tool. Okay, that is foolishness, Vineet. To think that you will not be fit is foolishness. So one script I have created in my mind, कि यार I am fat, I will always be fat. Rescripting is when you say that, no, if I do proper diet control, I do basic exercise, I'm a little bit conscious of what I eat and what movements and all I'm doing in the day. In 3 to 6 months, there can be a significant difference in my fitness, overall health, everything. That is rescripting. That is conscious, that is imagination, that how I can fit a diet into my lifestyle, into what I like, into what is feasible for me. Being alert and aware that do I need to eat that piece of sweet now or can I eat it later? Conscious and self awareness that who am I really? I am not just a helpless person in life. We are all divine beings with unlimited power, intelligence, strength in us. Why are we afraid? Why are we feeling limited? Why are we feeling small? Why are we feeling lesser? We are bold, beautiful, strong, infinite, happy, successful beings. That is our nature. That is our true nature. That is rescripting.
Yes.
Sorry, I took over. You were saying, please explain.
Yes.
Yeah, you were saying something.
The human have unique abilities.
Mm,
uh, like imagination help us like future possibilities which connect us to our values and principles,
mhm.
designing the life we want to live rather than just reacting to circumstances.
Okay, let's make it simpler. You understood what scripting and rescripting means?
Yes, sir.
Is there something simple in your life which you think is scripted but you want to rescript?
I am short, I want to grow tall.
You feel you are short and you feel you want to grow taller.
Yes.
What is the conscious effort that you would do to do that? How old
Exercise daily.
right now?
Exercise daily.
Exercise daily. Okay. What? Tell me more. I would like to hear. What type of exercise? What is it that you would like? Why do you feel you are very short and you are not tall? What is the height you would want to reach? I'd like to know everything.
I feel I'm short because my friends are tall than me.
How much taller are you?
I am 5'5". They are around 5'9". So
Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
bad.
Okay. You
So
feel
that
like
I want to grow taller.
you want to increase your height. Okay. And how do you think you would do that?
I can increase my height by doing exercise daily,
Okay. Give
like
more skills such as,
like pull-ups, yoga, and
okay,
some stretches.
pull up, yoga, stretches. Okay.
Yes,
Absolutely. That is possible.
yes, sir. It's possible if I implement.
You will be happy with yourself, who you are first. That's what consciousness is. You accept who you are. Okay, okay, I am grateful for this body. And you keep trying to be better. But don't be restless. Okay, only when I get that, I will be happy. Right now, I'm unhappy. That's a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
Enjoy the process and everything that we are doing.
Yes,
Mhm. Okay. Anything else you would like to share?
that's it, sir.
Okay. Sure. Let's continue.
Yes.
Because I am self-aware, because I have imagination and conscience, I can examine my deepest values. I can realize that the script I'm living is not in harmony with those values, that my life is not the product of my own proactive design, but the result of the first creation I have deferred to circumstances and other people. And I can change. I can live out of my imagination instead of my memory. What does this mean? I can live out of my imagination instead of my memory.
In uh, living in reality.
No, he's saying the opposite. He's saying that my reality of today does not have to be my reality of tomorrow. My past need not be the same as my future.
Okay.
He's saying no matter what my past is, no matter where I'm from, you can still carve out the future.
Yes, sir.
I can tie myself to limitless potential instead of my limiting past. I can become my own first creator. To begin with the end in mind means to approach my role as a parent as well as other roles in my life with my values and direction clear. It means to be responsible for my own creation first, to descript myself so that the paradigms from which my behavior and attitude flow are congruent with my deepest values and in harmony with correct principles. It also means to begin each day with those values firmly in mind. Then, as the vicissitudes, as the challenges come, I can make my decisions based on those values. I can act with integrity. I don't have to react to the emotion, the circumstance. I can be truly proactive, value driven, because my values are clear. A personal mission statement. The most effective way I know to begin with the end in mind is to develop a personal mission statement or philosophy or creed. It focuses on what you want to be and do, and on the principle or values upon which being and doing are based. Okay, this is a little complicated. I will read it again so it's a little more clear.
Yes, sir.
This is the author's personal mission statement. The most effective way I know to begin with the end in mind. So he's saying ki have a higher vision. Don't get stuck with small things. Don't get stuck that if I get admission in one college, I'll be happy and successful in life. Otherwise, I will never be successful. No, it's okay. Don't get admission in IIT. IIF doesn't mean it's the end of life. There are millions and millions and millions and people who are not there in these universities, and they're still happy and they're still successful. So that is the end, is to be happy and successful and healthy and a positive contributor to society. So begin with the end or always remember the end goal. Don't get stuck in small things. Your career is for the next 30 to 40 years. Don't get stuck with small 1, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months setbacks. So is to develop a personal mission statement or philosophy or creed. It focuses on what you want to be and to do, and on the values or principles upon which being and doing are based. So he's saying that have a set of values which you believe in and follow them uncompromisingly. Because each individual is unique, a personal mission statement will reflect that uniqueness, both in content and form. My friend Rolf Kerr has expressed his personal creed in this way: succeed at home first, seek and merit divine help. Never compromise with honesty. Remember the people involved. Hear both sides before judging. Obtain counsel of others. Counsel means advice.
Yes.
Defend those who are absent. Be sincere yet decisive. Develop one new proficiency a year. Plan tomorrow's work today. Hustle while you wait. Hustle means uh,
Work.
jugaad. You know the Indian word jugaad. That's the exact meaning. Hustle. Maintain a positive attitude. Keep a sense of humor. Be orderly in person and in work. Do not fear mistakes. Fear only the absence of creative, constructive, and corrective responses to those mistakes. Facilitate the success of subordinates. Listen twice as much as you speak. Concentrate all abilities and efforts on the task at hand, not worrying about the next job or promotion.
Mm.
A woman seeking to balance family and work values has expressed her sense of personal mission differently. I will seek to balance career and family as best I can, since both are important to me. My home will be a place where I and my family, friends, and guests find joy, comfort, peace, and happiness. Still, I will seek to create a clean and orderly environment, yet livable and comfortable. I will exercise wisdom in what we choose to eat, read, see, and do at home. I especially want to teach my children to love, to learn, and to laugh, and to work and develop their unique talents. I value the rights, freedoms, and responsibilities of our democratic society. I will be a concerned and informed citizen involved in the political process to ensure my voice is heard and my vote is counted. I will be a self starting individual who exercises initiative in accomplishing my life's goals. I will act on situations and opportunities rather than to be acted upon. I will always try to keep myself free from addictive and destructive habits. I will develop habits that free me from old labels and limits and expand my capabilities and choices. My money will be my servant, not my master. I will seek financial independence over time. My wants will be subject to my needs and my means. Except for long term home and car loans, I will seek to keep myself free from consumer debt. I will spend less than I earn and regularly save or invest part of my income. Moreover, I will use what money and talents I have to make life more enjoyable for others through service and charity giving. You could call a personal mission statement a personal constitution. Like the United States Constitution, it's fundamentally changeless in over 200 years. there have been only 26 amendments, 10 of which were in the original Bill of Rights. The United States Constitution is the standard by which every law in the country is evaluated. It is the document the President agrees to defend and support sorry, when he takes the oath of allegiance. It is the criteria by which people are admitted into citizenship. It is the foundation and the center that enables people to ride through such major traumas as the Civil War, Vietnam, or Watergate. These are all wars which America has had. It had a war with Vietnam in the 80s. There was American Civil War long ago, which Abe Lincoln fought. It is the written standard, the key criteria by which everything else is evaluated and directed. Okay, so if you were to write your own personal constitution, right now you could maybe share 1 or 2 points. What would you write in that? And if possible, when you go home, you don't have to show it to anyone or tell anyone, but just for yourself, if you were to write your own personal constitution, what would it be?
Mm,
Jayant?
yes, sir.
So basically, what are, if you were to list some core values or principles or something, okay, yeah, this is who Jayant is, or this is who I want to be, this is my own ideal. Like, this is how I view myself as an ideal person. Anything that comes to your mind which you would like to share?
Mm, I will live with honesty and kindness in everything I do.
Okay, explain, please. So, everything that you say, you have to say minimum 10 lines, nothing less than 10 lines. I don't know what, but you have to say 10 lines. Okay,
I will stay true to my values.
okay.
I will strive mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I will focus on what I will do.
So, when you're telling this to someone, also say why. If you're saying okay, this, also explain ki how did you come up with that? Why is it important to you? And one is you said what you want to do, why you want to do it, and third is how will you do it? All three. You said no, I will be strong, I will be truthful, I will be honest. Why out of thousand things this is important to you? And it could be anything. It could be like I just feel like it, which is also correct answer. And how do you plan to achieve this? So then in a normal conversation, this is more helpful. What, why, how?
Mm,
And if more specific, when and where, if you want to be, right?
I will be focused on growth, kindness, and contribution because I believe in becoming the best version of myself.
Okay.
I will do it by being consistent in my actions.
What does that mean? What do you mean by consistent in my action? So whenever you say something, no, you must say like the person completely understands what you're trying to say. There should be no ambiguity in the person in any conversation. When you're saying I will be consistent in my actions, it means have you been inconsistent in some actions which you want to be consistent in? Which are those actions? Right? So give some details so the person understands the whole context.
Yes. Mm, I will be kind, honest, and supportive person.
Okay.
Uh, because strong relations and good character are the will be meaningful life.
Okay.
I will do it by listening well and showing empathy, speaking truthfully, and being uh, kind.
Excellent. That was really good.
Thank
That
you,
was
sir.
really good, Jayant. And
Thank you,
you
sir.
don't need to use big words. You don't need very complicated ideas. Nothing. You have to just be confident of your thought flow. And even if you have a simple idea, very simple idea, but you explain it very well, that is much more effective than half explaining something very fancy or complicated. It could be something very simple, but if you explain it very well, that is much, 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 much more useful than a very, very fancy idea which is only half explained.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm,
Anything else you would like to share?
no, sir. I
Okay.
have nothing to share more.
Okay, okay. I understand you. You're tired, but that was good. You put in really good effort, and the whole idea is that you get practice of speaking. That's the only reason, because the more you speak and the more you're used to speaking, the easier, and you'll pick up the language faster. So I'm not trying to torture you, but this is like a proven technique.
Yes.
Okay. The Constitution has endured and serves its vital function today because it is based on correct principles, on the self evident truths contained in the Declaration of Independence. These principles empower the Constitution with a timeless strength, even in the midst of social ambiguity and change. A peculiar security, said Thomas Jefferson, is the possession of a written constitution. A personal mission statement based on correct principles becomes the same kind of standard for an individual, becomes a personal constitution, the basis for making major life directing decisions, the basis for making daily decisions in the midst of circumstances and emotions that affect our lives. It empowers individuals with the same timeless strength in the midst of change. People can't live with change if there's not a changeless core inside them. The key to the ability to change is a changeless sense of who you are, what you are about, and what you value. With a mission statement, we can flow with changes. We don't need pre adjustments or prejudices. We don't need to figure out everything else in life, to stereotype and categorize everything and everybody in order to accommodate reality. Our personal environment is also changing at an ever increasing pace. Such rapid changes burns out a large number of people who feel they can barely handle it and hardly cope with life. They become reactive and essentially give up, hoping that the things that happen to them will be good. But it doesn't have to be that way. In the Nazi death camps, where Viktor Frankl learned the principle of proactivity, he also learned the importance of purpose, of meaning in life. The essence of logotherapy, the philosophy he later developed and taught, is that many so called mental and emotional illnesses are really symptoms of an underlying sense of meaninglessness or emptiness. Logotherapy eliminates that emptiness by helping the individual to detect his unique meaning, his mission in life. Okay. What did you understand through this, Jayant? Jayant? Hey, Jayant, are you there?
Yes, sir. I was in mute. I didn't see that.
No problem. What did you understand in the last few paragraphs which you just read?
Mm, correct principle becomes standard for an individual.
I don't want you to just say the words which is there in the book. Say in your own words. I don't care if it's right or wrong. I don't care if it's fancy or not. It doesn't matter. But
Okay.
it has to be your own words. Even if it is completely grammatically wrong, it's everything is wrong. It's okay, but it's yours. That's how we will learn.
Uh,
I don't care if you got the correct one or don't, whatever it is, no problem.
One person's focused on principles like honesty and responsibility, continuous self-improvement. Uh, yeah. Just like US Constitution, it should be based on timeless principles, not on trends or emotions.
Mhm.
It provides a sense of clarity in times of change of and uncertainty.
Okay.
Having a personal mission gives us a purpose, direction, inner strength, which help us guiding our goals and making decisions effectively.
Okay. Okay. Once you have that sense of mission, you have the essence of your own proactivity. You have the vision and the values which direct your life. You have the basic direction from which you set along your long and short term goals. You have the power of a written constitution based on correct principles against which every decision concerning the most effective use of your time, your talents, and your energies can be effectively measured. At the center, in order to write a personal mission statement, we must begin at the very center of a circle of influence. The center comprised of our most basic of paradigms, the lens through which we see the world. It is here that we deal with our vision and our values. It is here that we use our endowment of self awareness to examine our maps and, if we value correct principles, to make certain that our maps accurately describe the territory, that our paradigms are based on principles and reality. It is
So,
here, yeah,
what does paradigms mean?
a paradigm means, in a way, you can say ki situation.
Okay,
Simple word in this context, at least, it means situation.
okay, sir.
Situation or condition.
Okay, sir.
That a
So,
paradigm.
Yeah, I'm just opened the dictionary and it says it's a typical example or a pattern of something.
Okay.
Like basically, it's like a use case, right? Like a set of rules or something. That would be a paradigm.
Okay, sir.
Vineet, you can close the meeting, Vineet. It's just another 3 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Um,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jayant.